Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose our stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched with so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare from us bursting in air gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
To start off, I would like to thank the faculty and families of the students for getting us to where we are today. We would not be here on this field together if it were not for your constant physical and emotional support the whole way through. Each of you will get a chance to give your own speeches later on, but for right now, I would like to personally address my fellow students and peers. Guys, we made it. I mean, we actually did it. We made it through seniors screaming at us to go home, passing our written exams and driver's education, sitting through hours of test taking to pass the SATs, all to get us in these seats on this field. Over the past 4 years, we've all made so many memories together, good and bad. Some of them you will want to hold on to forever, and others you will forget the second you throw your hat in the air. All that matters is that these memories have helped shape you into who you are. I like to think that as we move on, the other classes look at us with hope that they can achieve everything that we have achieved and more. I hope that after the 4 years we have worked so hard at, that all our little mishaps we had along the way just fade as we are doing today. Today, we all leave this field in order to all go our separate ways. We will all be doing it together. When I came to Middlesex in 6th grade, I did not have a friend or ounce of recognition to my name. But as the years went on, I made the greatest friends I will ever make in my life and accomplished more than I could ever dream of doing as that nobody I was 6 years ago. I stand before you now as a school-renowned actor, a varsity football player, your president, and to a great number of you, if not all, your friend. I have no idea where our future intends to lead us. I mean, I barely know where I'm going to end up. All I know for sure is that I am so glad I'm a part of this class, and I can speak to you all like this one last time. Hopefully, if we did everything right, saying goodbye will be easy. But today is not a goodbye. It is a hello to a very bright future that we all helped each other to get to. This is finally it. After this, we start brand new. Good luck, everyone. College is not even remotely close to being ready for what the class of 2016 is bringing.
Good evening, Dr. Madison, Board of Education members, faculty, staff, family, and the graduating class of 2016. Many times, when people ask where you're from and you respond with Middlesex, they assume you mean Middlesex County, and you have to explain that there actually is a borough of Middlesex within the county. Those people may have never heard of our little town, but the people that have lived here and grew up here, like the class of 2016 sitting before you, will never forget it. In many ways, Middlesex is unique, and it has molded us from the very beginning to become the unique individuals that we are today. As we begin our new journey beyond Middlesex High School, I know myself, as well as my classmates, could not be more grateful to have this place to look back on and call home. Middlesex comes with an overwhelming sense of pride and unity. It can be seen throughout the community, especially in the high school. I have been a part of the girls' basketball team here for the past 4 years, and this year we made it to the section final for the second year in a row. The gym was packed with a crowd of blue, and it was such a great experience to have such a large portion of the students come out to the game to show support. It wasn't until the end of my very last game, when I was standing on the sidelines with the 6 other girls that I have played my heart out in countless games with, and the crowd began to thank the seniors, that I realized how truly blessed we are to come from a school like Middlesex High School. We may not have won that game, but we didn't go home losers. So every time I see a packed student section, someone wearing a yellow bracelet for Shane, a blood drive, or any event that brings the town together, I can't help but feel immense gratitude towards this school for teaching me what it's like to be from a high school that became a home. Now, as we go our separate ways, I want to encourage the class of 2016 to reach for their goals with positivity and undying determination, but to not forget where you came from. Middlesex High School will always hold a special place in our hearts, and is a large contributor as to why we are headed to the places we are. There is no limit to our potential, and I know we're bound for great things. No matter how far you fly from the nest, you can always find your way back home. Once a Blue Jay, always a Blue Jay. Thank you.
Something unbreakable. You had the time of your life.
When someone approached me and told me that I had to give this speech, I was absolutely clueless about what to write. How did he expect me to condense the 720 days, the 4,680 hours, the 280,800 minutes that we spent sitting in Middlesex High School into 5 minutes? How was I supposed to thank every person who helped us get here today? And most importantly, how was I going to write a speech that didn't include the cliched phrases, "We'll always look back on these days," or that "this isn't the end, it's a new beginning"? It's funny though, because although each of these statements are cliches, there is some truth to them. The fact is, we will always look back on these days, those days where the world seems so innocent and new. It seems like only yesterday when we first stepped foot into MHS, afraid that the rumors of being stuffed into lockers were true. The beginning days of high school were marked with anxiety, circling around the hallways over and over again until we finally found our classes. The moments as underclassmen when we were told to go home freshmen by the seniors at pep rallies. And who could forget the battle of the classes, competing over who could decorate the hallways better, wear the most blue and white, or drink the most milk in the glutton bowl. Over these 4 years, our class has bonded with the sports we've all cheered on, the teachers we've all loved or just loved to hate, the fights we've all watched, the fire drills that have saved us from taking tests, and the snow days we've all prayed for. Some people mark high school as the best years of your life, but to be honest, these are just the best years of our lives at the moment. The great thing about Middlesex is that there are so many people with completely different, but nonetheless amazing talents. Sure, I'm number one in the class, but I'm certainly not the only person who is number one. There are people sitting in this audience right now who are photographers, dancers, singers, and professional athletes. There are others who dream of traveling, becoming therapists, entrepreneurs, teachers, the list goes on. No matter what your future endeavors may be, let the ensuing success inflate your happiness level and never settle for what you are not overjoyed with. It is these experiences that will mark the truly remarkable years of your life. Bill Cosby once said, "I don't know the key to success, but I know the key to failure is trying to please everybody." All great achievements arise from passion and heart. It is the desire to do better, to dig deeper, that propels a civilization to greatness. Up until this point, we have mostly been told what to do. Our parents enrolled and guided us through elementary, middle, and high school. But now it is our time. We alone decide how our talents are bestowed upon the world, to either further our own interests and passions, or to gain the momentary approval of our peers. Now is the time to truly excel at what we enjoy without fear of what others might think. Step out, be bold, and follow your passion. For as the cliche goes, the future is in our hands. Thank you.
ما فيش بدي اخذك لهونيك ما بعرف.
Feel his good gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I walk the dollar on, I think we'll just know this wind is blowing my mind. Sitting in the street, nothing to eat, too alive to be blind, pretending not to see their needs. Some distant card, a fuzzy bottle top, and one hand so they follow each other on the wind, we have to know, 'cause we got nowhere to go, where to go. Starting with the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Na 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 na, being a victim of it, selfish kind of love. And I realize that there's no hope, not a little to know. Could it be that me pretending that they're not alone? Oh, willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart has washed out to me. They follow the bird of the wind, waiting to see, 'cause we got nowhere to be. Starting with me, starting with the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Starting with the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Starting with the man in the mirror, asking him to change his ways. No message could be any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make the change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. Just then you close your heart, then you close your mind. Make that change. Make that change. Make that change.
Dr. Madison, please join me at the podium. The graduating class of 2016 has successfully met all of the state of New Jersey requirements, as well as the requirements of the Middlesex Board of Education. The young men and women before you are in good standing and are ready to take on life's challenges. Therefore, with extreme pride and pleasure, I present to you the class of 2016.
Thank you, Mr. Sabato. Well, we have so many stars here that I think the sun got a little jealous and decided to come out today, don't you think? All right. I want to thank and welcome everyone for coming to this wonderful celebration of our young people this evening, to celebrate together one of the most significant milestones of our lives and the beginning of your new journey. Each one of you has your own unique talents, gifts, and inner drive. You are unique and interesting. Today marks the beginning of the next phase of your lives, just as Jesse said earlier. Fun fact though, did you know in the short form that today's date is a palindrome? 6, 16, 16, forward or backward? It's the same date, all right? Got it all up here, guys. That's pretty unique and kind of special on your rebirth date. The date is also significant for me because on this exact date, 6/16, at this exact time, 40 years ago, I was sitting where you were sitting at my high school graduation. Thanks. I'm pretty old. For me, it's hard to believe that the time could pass so quickly, and I'm sure for some of you, you're probably thinking the same thing because, as one of the speakers said earlier, 4 years went by in a flash. As I was thinking about what I was going to say to you tonight that would be worth listening to, I wanted to first put myself into your shoes. So I started to flip through my high school yearbook, and that's how I discovered that we share the same graduation date. I looked at my picture and the quote and the activities that I was involved with, which, by the way, I thoroughly enjoyed. And my yearbook quote was, "If there's a will, there's a way." And that has stuck with me all of these years. You will no doubt discover that sometimes you accomplish things by sheer will and determination. As I've aged, my tagline has changed a bit. Now it's make the most of every day, and some of your parents and grandparents could probably relate to that. So as I thought about my quote and how it's endured in my life, I read all of your quotes in the yearbook, and as I did, I thought, wow, they have expressed the well wishes and advice of most graduation speakers. And in fact, I toyed with the idea of my whole speech being just reading your quotes, because I thought they were sometimes very hilarious. Overall, more than 65 of you cited inspirational quotes. About 20 provided advice and encouragement. 10 were just plain funny. 5 of you made some type of social commentary. There were about 10 of you who actually quoted other students or teachers, which I thought was totally cool. And 15 of you just left me scratching my head. I couldn't really figure out what you were saying. One of you wrote, "I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them." Just a quick thought about that. You may know that recently President Obama gave the commencement speech at Rutgers University. Well, at one point he quipped, as a response to one of our more outspoken presidential candidates, that the good old days just weren't that good. And that's kind of how he said it. And I tend to agree with him. Everything either looks way better or way worse after a period of years. How many of you might have heard over the years grandparent or somebody teasing you and saying something like, "I had to walk to school in 3 feet of snow with no shoes, uphill both ways"? Personally, I think you have to have the mindset that every day is one of the good old days, because you're going to make them one. I think if you look at each day as a new adventure, an adventure to be lived well, and learn something from the experiences, you will always live during the good old days. And you know what? No day is better than today. You literally have the world at your fingertips through the technology that exists in your phones. Oh, and by the way, just have to take my Twitter shot right now. All right. That's one thing about kids today. They love to get their pictures taken. All right, so let me find out where I was here. When I was your age, we can only imagine that someday a device would exist that might do just what I just did. And my 2 cents is to make the most of it. Use it to stretch your reach and to continue your learning. The way I see it, your challenge isn't information management, it's how to best use that information. And in order to do that, you have a need to share the information, and to do that effectively, you're going to need to cultivate and maintain personal relationships. You will need to work collaboratively as you face challenges that may now only live in your imagination. I caution you as you use the technology, though. You have to stay connected. And although we've never been more connected globally than we are right now, I still feel we've never been more disconnected on a personal level. Please don't forgo your personal relationships as you explore your world. There is no substitute for human-to-human interaction. It's what makes every day the good old days. You've probably heard the quote by Maya Angelou, the one that goes, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Well, that is so true. And I want to thank you for sharing your lives with me. Although I've only known you for the last 3 years, I have so many wonderful memories of you. You've made me feel so accepted, and I can feel your energy when I'm with you. I can feel your warmth and your zest for life, and being with you energizes me and makes me a better person, because I'm reminded why I became an educator in the first place. For that reason, I will never forget you. Best wishes, class of 2016.